Hi, I'm Dana Sardano, and this is Steffi Starr,
Hola.
and welcome to the Love Seat. Um, we are sitting in the Ubuntu Fish Gallery. I am the owner and resident artist, and it is a beautiful rainy day, total deluge out there. And it is what day and what month?
It
And
is June 3rd, Wednesday,
all right, it's June
2020.
3rd, Wednesday, and the world is crumbling around
See.
us, and we are here on the Love Seat, hoping to add a little love and joy to your day. I'd like to introduce my girl, Steffi Starr, and let her go off, because I think that that's what's about to happen.
Gracias, hermano. I'm not about to go off. I do want to acknowledge that, yes, the world appears to be crumbling, but at the end of the day, on this walk that Dana and I are on with so many others in our circle, we also understand that things are happening exactly as they're meant to, and that there is an unfolding and a becoming occurring for us as individuals, but certainly for us as a collective species. So, having said that, I'll explain a little bit about what I do, because my topic today kind of revolves around an experience I had at the way home over the weekend. I am a spirit plant facilitator. I hold space for people who use the molecules in nature to alter their consciousness in an effort to understand themselves better, to understand themselves as source energy better. And it's a very healing, transformative process when these molecules are used sacredly with reverence and respect, and I hold that space for folks. So having said that, I am coming at you today, and I want to make this very clear. This is not preaching. This is not advertising. This is me as a woman who does this show with my dear friend for the sake of us sharing our walk with each other primarily, but ultimately if you get something from that, we're thrilled, and that's why we record these conversations. I am coming to you as a flawed, fractured, frail human being, just like everybody else.
Alliteration is my favorite.
Everybody else on the planet. It's mine too, by the way. That's why we love each other. I am as human as every other person. I know this. I walk this planet through the same muck and mire that all of us walk through. You know, my trauma is bad because it happened to me. Your trauma is bad because it's happened to you. So I am in no way, shape, or form trying to give you any advice. I am no different than you. I don't live any better than you. I do live differently than a lot of people. And in having said that, I feel like a miracle happened to me this weekend. I have a tendency to walk a road where I insist on having myself get out of the way of my source self. I insist on having my human self continually being observed by my highest divine self in an effort that I can fashion and formulate my best possible me, and take that out into the world and do the work that I do and love the people that I love and forge the relationships that I forge. Having said all that, this weekend at the way home, we had a really profound ceremony on Saturday. I can't even get into that, but what I'm about to explain comes on the heels of something that was very profoundly shape-shifting for me on Saturday. I stepped into a role that I have seen coming for me, that I have known as my role for a very long time, and I got to be the observer and observe myself in that role on Saturday. It was very powerful. It was a very powerful day for me. And then on Monday, we did a ceremony around a molecule from nature that comes from the Amazonian tree frog, from the
right.
from the
I
jungles,
didn't ask you about that. I
from
totally
the
forgot it was
jungles of South America. We did a molecule from nature called Kambo. Kambo is a toxic secretion that comes from the Amazonian tree frog when it is stressed. It is
Excuse me.
it is expressed from the frog's skin through a very sacred and ancient tradition by those who live in tribes in the Amazon and know these frogs and love these frogs and honor and revere these frogs. And I have a dear friend named Juju who came to the way home on Monday and provided Kambo ceremony for myself and a couple other people. And I was not the facilitator. I was very much the participant. I do engage Spirit Plant as a participant. Not as much as I facilitate it, but it is a very useful tool for me in my walk and in my becoming. So Kambo was for me. I have heard about Kambo. I've known about Kambo for several years. It never called to me. But the thing about Kambo is it is a profound, clearer, of energies, of blockages, of illnesses. It is one of the most antibacterial compounds, or I'm sorry, anti-inflammatory compounds on the planet. Highly anti-inflammatory, highly purgative. You definitely lose yourself from both ends for a short but very profound period of time. And it is an immunity booster. It is a profound immunity booster. And right now in the middle of the COVID crisis, and it just felt like for me it was time to get clean, to get clear, and to boost my immunity. I've been working.
Do you feel different?
Girl, listen, I'm about to get into that. So this is what happened. I've learned not to expect anything, right? I show up as the empty-minded student learner who is interested in the experience for the experience's sake, for sure. But I did set an intention around getting clear and because of Saturday, there was such a profound awareness of what I am, what my work revolves around. I wanted to have a clarity in order to move forward with that knowing that I got on Saturday. So to be completely honest with you, the ceremony itself was very purgative, both ends. I have my little Kambo scars. They literally burn.
Did it hurt?
Well, she takes a hot bamboo poker and burns a hole into your arm.
So, hey, Dana, why don't you come and reduce your inflammation? We're going to burn a hole in your arm, and then you're going to shit and puke.
No pain, no gain, baby. No pain, no gain.
Oh, it's a party. I'm all over it.
It is a party. It's not your normal party, but it's a party. So, the holes
and there's
get
no
burned.
Hallucinating on it.
No, it's not in a hallucinogenic.
So there's no perk.
No. The perk is to get clean and clear, and that was my intention. I want to clearly see, understand, and be in a space where, as in moving forward, I am.
You want to get as much
the hollow
density
bone,
out of your body as possible in order to have more.
Yes. So, I have the experience. It lasts about 40 minutes. The actual purging took about 10, 12 minutes. And then it's all recovery after that. It's you like...
Oh, so you're 10, 12 minutes purging.
Yeah.
And then you're just
like you're breathing heavy. And like I had a profound reaction where my whole face swelled up. My oropharynx, my nasopharynx kind of constricted. Like I went full frog mode. I had froggy face.
Speak in layman's terms?
Yeah.
Your oronasal.
Everything, my throat and my nose, everything in down into my chest, it all felt swollen and constricted.
Were you afraid that you
were not remotely, because girl, I walk in the bubble. I'm protected from one. I got very important work to do. So it's all good in the hood all the time with me. I live a fearless life because I know everything happens for me. Nothing happens to me.
Okay, so go on.
So I recover. I have this experience. I'm like, well, that was intense. It was like camping. We were intense. And then we went right into, and this was different for Juju, the practitioner, we went right into a communion ceremony, which is a low-dose spirit plant ceremony. And
Jesus Christ.
And my intention for that was, help me understand, help me take this clarity, this cleanliness I have, and the awareness I got on Saturday about my role moving forward, and merge those two things. Yeah. Like, reveal to me in this moment that this is not fake, that I am not imagining this, that this is, and listen, Spirit Plant came through, showed up loud and clear, revealed to me through a practicum of my trying to be in my experience and yet still walking around, holding space, being the Earth Mother, caring for the children who come to me. It was a profound becoming of what I am and what my role is here. And having said that, since Kambo, like I feel like a miracle has happened to me, because if you've watched any of our other videos, in particular a couple months ago, we did the 6 cupcakes video. Yeah. So Steffi used to be 348 pounds. Steffi has been a compulsive eater since she was 4 years old, put herself in a coma with an Easter basket. She ate all at once on Easter.
I need a moment.
I grew up with a compulsive eater.
What do you mean? You literal
I,
coma?
I
Or
was in a coma for 3 days because I ate my entire Easter basket and nobody knew I was allergic to chocolate
it
at that
is
point.
not funny at all.
No, but it's funny because I've been a compulsive eater since I was 4 years old because I have proof. I was in a coma for 3 days because I ate my entire Easter basket one Easter Sunday, while my mother walked around the house with the Italian Easter happenings and the wall-to-wall peeps. And literally peeps and people. I'm eating peeps, I'm eating chocolate, and then I was like gone for 3 days. Hospital, ice baths, almost didn't come back. So having said all that, I have struggled. It's okay, girl, get it out. I love you so, you laugh. It's funny now because obviously it didn't take my life. So, but I have come close many a time. So
Every time I think, like, you can't surprise me, you're in a coma.
I was in a coma for 3 days when I was 4 years old because of an Easter basket. See? So I have this really difficult and useful relationship with food and eating that has helped me become what I am. My relationship is not perfect, but I am better at it for sure. I am about 200 pounds right now, which is about 30 pounds over where I should be at my lowest since being 348 and coming down from that. I lost 130 pounds. I've put about 30-ish back on. And I've struggled with that for the last couple of years. I've really had a hard time getting back down. And I have these moments where 6 cupcakes and 2 chicken sandwiches show up. And yet, having said all that, I am so at peace with my relationship with food because it is better than it has ever been. I look and feel better than I've ever looked and felt. I'm beautiful, like we said in the last video. I'm beautiful not because of what this is. I'm beautiful because of how I walk in this world, because of the love that I give, the love that I have. That's where my beauty comes from. So I'm perfectly contented with myself where I am, but something changed in me on Monday with the Kambo. Since then, I feel completely compelled to fast for large portions of the day and only eat in a very small window. And when I have eaten since Kambo, I have desired so deeply whole, real food from the earth.
Because you're clean.
I'm clean. I want to stay clean, but it's not a thought process. Like, we've had this talk before, and I'm going to share this for those of you out there who may not understand. This is how it's worked for me. I'm going to share with you my experience. I spent my life thinking I wanted to be at a certain place spiritually, career-wise, relationship-wise. Like, I always thought it was my job to get me there. And as I've walked this road, as I've become my what and graduated from my who, I've come to understand that there is a practice, that there is the daily practice of dying to self, walking in awareness and willingness, doing the things that are practical, that keep me on this road. If I wake up and I don't feel like doing my morning reading, then I do it for 30 seconds, but the option to not do it is never there. Normally I do it for 30 minutes. If I don't have 30 minutes, if I don't feel like 30 minutes, I'm gonna at least do 3, because without that anchor, I'm like a rudderless ship. So I've developed practices and I've developed habits that keep me in the mode of death to self, awareness and willingness as my path. And over that time, everything I thought I wanted, I did give up desire in December of 2017. And I know that sounds kooky, but I understand that desire is the root of suffering, not because we don't get what we want, but because we get what we want and it wasn't for us. That's where real suffering comes in, from desire, this Eastern philosophy of desire being the root of suffering. We are powerful. We will get what we want. And if it wasn't for us, that's when we suffer. So I gave up desire in December of 2017. I just put my mind to the idea that I didn't want to want anything that wasn't for me. And I perceive and I trust and I have a fullness of faith that everything that is, right here, right now, is for me. Nothing happens to me ever anymore. So I walk in that faith and it provides me a profound peace, a profound joy. But the things that I used to want, being able to say I walk in awareness and willingness, that didn't come because I did something. That didn't come because I wanted it. It came because I had a daily practice, because I lived in awareness and willingness. And one day, by grace, almost by grace, it was just granted that that was my walk. I know that I know that I know that my issue with food is being resolved through grace right now. my willingness to submit to this toxin that I really for years have known about and wanted no part of, provided an awareness and willingness that turned into a grace on Monday that has freed me from my twisted relationship with food. I can't, and I wanted to say this, I wanted to do this today with my sister here. This is an integration for me. Again, I'm not telling you, you need to do this. I'm simply sharing my experience because I want to look back on this video and I want to remember the day I knew that this was graced to me. I wanted to document. I wanted to be able to look back and see my walk in action turning into grace that reveals miracles in the life I live. I call the magic carpet ride. That's how it works for me. I get out of my own way. And I don't get what I want when I want it. And I've learned to not want. But holy shit, I get what I need. Source is never early, never late, always so perfectly, beautifully on time. And I am grateful. I feel like a brand new human being. I feel like a brand new essence of my infinite whatness. I have been transformed by these molecules in nature, and I'm honored to share them, and I'm honored to know people who bring the molecules they're passionate about. If you want any information about how any of this works, please visit twhic.org. It stands for The Way Home Intentional Community, twhic.org, for more information or how to avail yourself of these tools. Nature is the future, where we're at. We are not going to get at
Plans.
Einstein said we cannot resolve the problems we made with the same mind that made the problem. These plants are here for a reason. You cannot open a book. You can't look online. You can't pull up YouTube and not find somebody talking about spirit plants, spirit molecules. Ayahuasca has crawled out of the jungle of South America. She now grows on every continent on the planet. She is imbibed in every country where people live. These plants are the future. These plants have an answer that we do not have with our rational thinking mind. And if you're called to plants, I am a resource, whether you come to the Way Home for those plants or not. I am a resource. I love sharing what I know. I love learning new things through what people bring to me as questions and their own experiences. So that was a lot. Thank you for letting me share that. Thank you for listening. And for any part of that may be speaking to one or two of you, do not hesitate to reach out. These plants, if they're calling to you, they're your future. They're what's next.
I have nothing. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. There's a piece that I of what you said that I just want to bring to light that you would have. I don't think you remembered. Like I think you would have if you thought.
Yeah.
You know, in the '60s, marijuana, cannabis, one of the beautiful plants. The connotation that has been attached to it, or the negative. It's a gateway to all drugs, or that's what hippies do. Whatever it is part of, we're losing it, but it's part of our culture. So it's interesting the conditioning that we have in our lives about everything, right? We're conditioned. The world is changing, and the world it's in desperate need of a change. And you see, like I said, the chaos around. Right. Look out the window.
Look out the window. You don't even need a TV.
And these plants, and I'm not here to push plants, but I definitely know the benefit of them. And try to, this is me throwing advice at you, but just try to take a moment and remove yourself from the societal conditioning that's been all around you, and really ask yourself, if it grows, there's got to be something to it if it grows, because we don't have any negative belief systems about apples. Broccoli. They grow from trees, right? Broccoli doesn't get you high.
Right. JP, we got you, brother. I love you.
but you know what I mean? Like, these are all of the earth, and we use them, and even homeopathic remedies, and you put the ginger with the oregano,
And the
you mix it
turmeric,
up,
and
the
yeah.
turmeric, and yeah.
We're about it when it comes to that, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. But then all of a sudden you say marijuana, and everybody's like,
Right.
So just remember, it all comes from the earth, and there's curative properties to all of it. Some of it may not be for you, like
not every tool is for every person.
Yeah, but it's not the devil's weed. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But with that said, everything that you said is beautiful. I don't have any cute little anecdotes. I don't have any quips. I got nothing. You're amazing.
I love
You're
you.
amazing.
Thank you for that. I do tell people two things, and I'm glad you brought up that point because it's very important. There is a proliferation right now of research. We're not just talking about Billy Bob on YouTube talking about his 3 a.m. mushroom trip on a Saturday night. We are talking about serious scientists, Johns Hopkins University, NYU, Cal State, talking about psilocybin and MDMA. Psilocybin and MDMA have already been approved by the FDA for use now in therapeutic settings. So we are coming to a brand new awareness, and I like to remind people, man makes drugs. Man makes drugs. They can be legal, they can be illegal. Man makes drugs. The earth makes spirit plant. The earth makes spirit plant. And we will write on the dollar bill, "In God we trust," but then we'll turn around and make a plant illegal. And that's changing. It has to change. So as you consider these things for yourself, Dana was spot on. The societal conditioning around what we think about these molecules has got to get moved to the side if we're going to look at them as the help, as the tool that they are.
Because people pop Percocets and Prozac.
Oh, you'll take Wellbutrin every day. You'll take Xanax every day. You'll mix it with alcohol. You might even throw in a little cocaine. But a mushroom, I don't know about that. Iboga, ayahuasca, peyote.
And the miracles of cannabis.
Yes.
The miracle.
When approached sacredly, when we approach these things with the respect they deserve, and that is how I roll, that's how we roll at the way home. When you approach nature with the sacredness and the intention and the reverence that she deserves, there is magic in those molecules. When we approach them recreationally, when we disrespect, we get what we get. Yeah, you get high with your friends. And listen, that has its place. But please do not throw the baby out with the bathwater.
But there's magic in that too.
There is.
Because I often say,
but it's profound when you approach it correctly.
Of course. But like I always say, part of the reason I am who I am today, and I'm pretty open-minded, and I'm pretty well-adjusted, and I'm pretty cool with who I am. Like I totally like who I am. I don't really have any.
I think you're a rock star.
I think I'm a rock star. Thank you for noticing.
You fucking rock.
But as through college, and actually before college, but through college and the years after, spent a lot of time, smoking pot, hanging out with your friends, and everybody tells their story, right? And everybody hangs out. You hang out with a new group of people, or a new person comes in, and again, you smoke some pot, you tell your story, and people talk about things, and they do it in a peaceful manner. And the more you do that, the more you evolve, right? I think back, if I hadn't had those relationships, and I hadn't had those circles, and I hadn't had those experiences, I would be very different now. And I think I can't project, but a little bit more closed-minded. You know what I mean? But I'm very much in tune because of those experiences, and they were recreational. And I've also seen in other aspects of my life with people that I know the medicinal benefit of marijuana. And I know you're talking about mushrooms, but I'm just talking about my experiences. And I think, like I said, step back. Why do I believe these things about these plants? Oh, because and again, I don't want to put my tinfoil hat on. Remember, it's all bedazzled with a little swan. But because the media, because there's a reason that Big Pharma, that the government, that there's a reason they don't want us to feel good.
Well, there's a reason they don't want us to know what we are, because once we know what we are, they kind of become a little unnecessary. So there's going to be all kinds of links in the description. I'm going to include a link to my girl Juju Munden. Shout out to Lakeland, Florida, where she travels the country with her gypsy Kambo. It's Kambo, Kambo is the spelling, by the way. There's going to be a link to the way home. There's going to be a link to a couple videos that describe where we're at right now with psilocybin, ayahuasca, the different spirit molecules that exist in nature. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. And if you're feeling called, do your research, do your homework. But thanks for listening today. We really appreciate it. Grateful for you, as always. Thanks for visiting us at the Love Seat. That's my man, Dominic. So I'm going to catch the phone. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.